Blessed love, my viewers and subscribers. Wagwan. Open all doing good. Open all doing great. Now, my people, we're there again on Soul Chat TV with another Mutabaruka content, and this one is the latest cutting edge as of Wednesday, May the 1st, 2024. The latest, my people. Now, in this one, there's a whole lot, a topic that Mutabaruka discuss. Rasta culture. The earthquake that shook. I don't know if any of you guys feel the earthquake, but there was an earthquake. Also discuss about religions and a whole lot more, my people. So definitely stay tuned because this one will be really interested. Before we get into the video, my people, you all know it's a Black Power movement. So definitely drop a like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And share to a friend or a family so they can be a part of the movement. Now, my people, let's take a walk and check out what Mutabaruka has to say. Then we'll leave your thoughts and opinion down in the comment section. Let's walk.
Good night. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM Annex. Wednesday night, warm and rainy and warm. I tell you, this month it come like it gone back to me as a rainy month, me and October. You know, we usually get rain in that month, but you know it got the climate thing a bother the whole world. You know, it's a place of flood whenever it used to flood. Like Abu Dhabi. Now tell you, man, sand place become rivers. Anyway, we're there with you. Don't know how much you feel the earthquake earlier in the night, yeah. But the earthquake did shake. I don't know what is the powerness of it. I guess we hear that soon on the news them. I sit down and I talk and I just hear my house stopper and make noise. I think it's right there on top of the zinc them. When I hear from the show, there's an earthquake. And Jackie tell me, say, you feel the earthquake? I don't feel the earthquake. But apparently, I hope people feel it because just then everybody I call her and I ask her if she feel the earthquake too. It seems as if enough earthquake keep coming our way. You know, and even some places too, like Morocco, you know, where and Turkey, where 40,000 people dead in a Turkey and 10,000 dead in a Morocco, including my favorite little place near Marrakesh. So, they say man a go on and man a go on. Them can't fight that. Can't fight the power of an earthquake. Earthquake, just do it one, do and say, all right, fix back that, bury that. And so it go. You know, the power of man reach that far, but when nature strike, it strike. Yes. When you check France, it really attack about the whole world, but France especially. With the other day when the footballer them do great for France, you realize people that ball out say, I know France win the match at Africa because most of the players them on the team was African. I mean, directly come from Africa too. You know, and them live in France. So apparently, some white guy take it to heart and a vex. And hear him say, no, him say, the black people, them is French. So we can go and talk. Them is French. Them is French because with them do France. But given that so much refugee and all them people that come across and I try enter France, them people are not French. And if you go Guadeloupe, you find say the people in Guadeloupe check themselves as French. And that is the colonial powers that France have upon its colonies, where the people them start to really accept them is French, when them is really African most of the time. We go and come forward. First break. You know, all these different rhythms lyrics and melodies. You know, we love to feature the African music, you know, because the root of all of our intentions is embedded in the soul and the earth and all the things them that relate to Africa. It is in Africa. So when we speak of Africa, we're talking about the music too. You know, we don't stray. Because anytime we go over there, so we come right forward to Africa. If we go over there, so we come right forward to Africa. So, pardon me while I play some African music. There was a time when I go to school, I feel say African music, they don't go use drum and play music. And we know say most of the instruments them that the Western world use originated in Africa, created and made by Africans. It's one instrument we never see come across the Atlantic. One instrument. And that's a kora, K-O-R-A, kora. 21 strings, and it play upright. The kora, mostly found in Gambia and Mali. It's a very, very unique instrument. Make out a big gourd. Come like a harp. But the music is what drive it, just like how we have the reggae. And the reggae drive and popularize Jamaica to the whole world. And them can't deny that again. Can't deny it. Taking a break and come for. Yes. Okay, so as we say, we want to keep you up to date here, even though these things was sent to me long time, but it don't get old, because a lot of it don't come to pass yet. We're talking about population and culture, and what population have to do with cultural activities in a country. We see that a lot of the colonial countries is getting a beat right now from these new African leaders that rising up. We are talking about the latest one is in Senegal. You know, from last year we have said, what the hell if all the Senegalese them decide say, just like the Nigerian people them and all the other ones them who decide say, look here, when we rape Africa too long now, we have to go. Well, so said, so done. Say we have a youth, you know, we rise up in a Senegal. I tell the one them say, watch out. We have to leave, you know, because we have rape Africa long now. So I don't know if it's a new turning point in Africa, but it look good. It look good. Because if we can actually control the mineral resources of Africa and then trade with them and be the owner of our resources, it's going to be the owner of our destiny also. That is what we really need to do. We need to not cut them off, but control the mineral resources so that when the mineral is sold, we get the benefit of it and also get the majority of it, given that is in Africa. You know, a man can't come in your house and decide, say, boy, all right, I'm going to take your things and go sell it. And then you little pittance and you work hard in the mind them to go dig it up and all them here there. And then them turn around and give little pittance. So we see the population is gradually changing to what them don't want. And we're going to play this. We're going to play this. Here we go. Here we go.
According to research, in order for a culture to maintain itself for more than 25 years, there must be a fertility rate of 2.11 children per family. With anything less, the culture will decline. Historically, no culture has ever reversed a 1.9 fertility rate. A rate of 1.3, impossible to reverse. because it would take 80 to 100 years to correct itself, and there is no economic model that can sustain a culture during that time. In other words, if two sets of parents each have one child, there are half as many children as parents. If those children have one child, then there are 1/4 as many grandchildren as grandparents. If only 1 million babies are born in 2006, it's hard to have 2 million adults enter the workforce in 2026. As the population shrinks, so does the culture. As of 2007, the fertility rate in France was 1.8, England 1.6, Greece 1.3, Germany 1.3, Italy 1.2, Spain 1.1. Across the entire European Union of 31 countries, the fertility is a mere 1.38. Historical research tells us these numbers are impossible to reverse. In a matter of years, Europe as we know it will cease to exist. Yet the population of Europe is not declining. Why? Would turn it into a Muslim continent within a few decades. There are currently 52 million Muslims in Europe. The German government said that number is expected to double in the next 20 years to 104 million. Closer to home, the numbers tell a similar story. Right now, Canada's fertility rate is 1.6, nearly a full point below what is required to sustain a culture. And Islam is now the fastest growing religion. Between 2001 and 2006, Canada's population increased by 1.6 million, 1.2 of those immigration. In the United States, the current fertility rate of American citizens is 1.6. With the influx of the Latino nations, the rate increases to 2.11, the bare minimum required to sustain a culture. In 1970, there were 100,000 Muslims in America. Today, there are over 9 million. The world is changing. It's time to wake up. 3 years ago, a meeting of 24 Islamic organizations was held in Chicago. The transcripts of that meeting showed in detail their plans to evangelize America through journalism, politics, education, and more. They said, we must prepare ourselves for the reality that in 30 years, there will be 50 million Muslims living in America. The world that we live in is not the world in which our children and grandchildren will live. The Catholic Church recently reported that Islam has just surpassed their membership numbers. Some studies show that at Islam's current rate of growth, in 5 to 7 years, it will be the dominant religion of the world. As believers, we call upon you to join the effort to share the gospel message with the changing world. This is a call to action.
Yes, we are saying the taxi where we are driving now. I have someone with him name and him tell me some albul carbal called some like that. And I say, so why an African name? And him tell me, say, so why have a Arab name? Him say I'm a Muslim. So even in the black world, Africans who adopt Islam give themselves Arab name, like Louis Farrakhan. These names is Arab names that come into Africa, not Africa. When the Arabs them did enslave African people. As a matter of fact, even longer than the advent of white people. Because we are talking about 500 years of European domination. We are talking about 1,000 years of Arab influence in North Africa especially. But now it's gone past North Africa now. Most of the youth, them, when you ask them religion, them tell you say them is Muslim. And in America, we know how influential the Muslim Islam religion is amongst black youth who are fight for some kind of expressive expression in themselves. Them turn to Islam, very popular religion. So we can see how scared white people is going to get, or is getting, as a matter of fact, in France. That is why we start out and mention how the footballer them in France, when France win, them says Africa win. Yeah, when France win, them says Africa win. And we see how that go. Man ball out and say, what you talk about? So them all of a sudden now, black people is incorporated in the culture of France. But the more you have black people in a France with them Islamic religion, is the more you're going to find, say, Christianity get a sidestep. As you hear the man say, I will live for the mosque, them, the world of the church, them become mosque. Yes, temples. We don't see the spread of Islam in the Caribbean that much. But you have a whole heap of ones here who give credence to Islam. Them give credence to it. I don't know if we should fear it or just accept it with open arms. Because look at people who are going in the Gaza, they so now. We are defend the Palestinians them to have their own country against the Israeli them. And we know say most Palestinians them is Muslims. And them treatment of black people is no different from how white people treat black people. We talk about the Arab, the Muslim them, the Arab them in Palestine and all these places. Egypt. Them is as racist as white people. Yet still we see it fit to defend them right to a state. Because we as Africans understand and know how it feel when a man come take away your land and take away your pride and your dignity. We understand that. So that now go stop we from say, look here, Israeli, do something terrible among some people. It's crime against humanity. Because me remember when them did a ball out, say, Putin must go to the court and be tried because he might commit genocide in Ukraine. And America stand up with the Ukrainian people them and say, yes, Putin is a murderer. But here is a wicked murderer, terrible. Bibi Netanyahu, otherwise known. Them say 30 people gone already, where them fine. Because 30,000 is where them fine. We are talking about now, all of them rubble there where we see on the screen. A whole heap of dead body supposed to honor them rubble there. But these people is fighting for the land. The two of them is fighting for the land. It's Africa, you know. Why you remember that, you know? Them country they in Africa, you know. But the journey to liberation and freedom is not to say, well, the man they do that and the man they do that. But evil anywhere is evil, everywhere is evil, anywhere. It's just evil. So even if you are your neighbor, no agree upon certain things, and somebody come in and come rob them, or even shoot them, you kind of have a feeling for them. You know, you just feel terrible about that incident. You know a man down the corner there, but you hear so the man get shot. But when you realize that the man who get shot is a man where just miserable. And you can't get on with him. But when you hear somebody shoot him, you know, so you feel aware. So is it that Muslims, Islam, taking over Europe and find themselves in some little places where you don't even know, say, Muslim there they saw. And even in Africa, most of the African them give credence to Islam. We are talking about even West Africa. You know, West Africa, we say that is the mainstay, and them give up them own indigenous culture, language, should I say, for Arabic language. You know, when we look on the culture of Africa, it is directly embedded in Islam, especially the West Coast and the North. As a matter of fact, the whole of North Africa is Islam, the whole of North Africa. That is why when them go across into Europe, that is why the man say, by next year or year after, the majority of France and even Italy and Germany and them place there, the religion that will be dominant is Islam. Because it's dominant in Africa. And we know that a lot of this Islamic mindset where Africans take up cause them to fight against them indigenous culture, just like how the Christian them hold on Christianity and fight against them indigenous African culture, demonize them African culture. We say Islam do the same thing with the mind of the African people. And I put it to you that a lot of the African them, so-called African them, who them claim sell black people to the white people them on the west coast of Africa, is Islamic mind, because them people they don't see you as them brother, them see as infidel. From you now talk about Allah, them say you is infidel. So them don't believe what them do you do. That is why if you go amongst the Maroons, maroon them, especially in a Portland and them place there, you'll find them have Arabic retentive elements in them speaking. Maybe the young one them say it and don't know, but a lot of the words that the ones them in the Portland and St. Thomas, when them talk, is Arabic language. And how them get that? Because Arab influence is spread go right into West Africa. Right into West Africa. And them not sure that in no African lessons. I don't think them even say it in the university neither. It's terrible that we don't learn certain things in our country as a Jamaica about the plight of African people with the British, with the French, with the Portuguese, and also with the Arabs from Saudi Arabia. Look at Egypt. Egypt in Africa is a black state, first time. It's not that again. Because the Arabs them take it over. So now when you look on the Egyptian them, look here how we are talking about Egyptian and black people. Some people gonna find it funny and say, oh, we are talking about English and the black people. But not to say them are not black people, Rasta. The people them were in Egypt now. As a matter of fact, there are more Arabs living in Egypt than in Saudi Arabia. Yes. That the change of face of Egypt by coming into Egypt is that the man I talk about when them talk about France. Years from now, no white people, it now gonna look like it's a white people land. Can't believe that. Little more from this. France now gonna look like it's a white land. It's going to go full with black people who take up Islam. Maybe not Arabs who take up Islam, but black people, because mostly black people are go across Europe there to go find refuge or better life in a Europe. And when them go there with them cultural expression, which is not for them own, but Arabs influence. Just like how when we come here, we come take up Christianity. It's not our own, because we show our things already and fashion ourselves in a film thing, which is white people things. Well, these black people who's going across into Europe is fashioning themselves for not white people things, but Arab influence. So them take Islam as them refuge. Yes, Islam is them refuge. So, when we look at Ethiopia, there's a time when we could have said Ethiopia is a Christian country. Well, we can't say that again because the Arab them influence, Islam influence is deeply embedded in Ethiopia. Not only as a religion, but monetary. A whole heap of Arab that they have built up this and just like all the Chinese them they over here so. I build up this and I build up that. The Arab them in Ethiopia. I build up this and I build up that. And them don't give up Islam, them religion. They maintain them religion, them have the mosque. Man, it's unbelievable. Hey, watch a man. You go to a certain North African country and early 5 o'clock in the morning, you hear a bell ring and you hear peer praying go on. Everybody pray at the same time. Them have the things set, pat. Anyway, them there they are prayer. I think they must have pray more than most about 5 times a day. Them have prayer. Christianity seems to be losing. Christianity seems to be losing. And as you hear the document, I say, the culture of the Arabs them is seeping into Europe, even Canada. Even Canada, they might talk about. Yes, we have to take a stock, educate yourself, and recognize how the thing go, and not how you believe it go. Egypt is an ancient African place, country, that was taken over by Arabs. And it's very difficult to sieve it out now. But we know and we understand. Give thanks to a man like Ben Buchanan and Ivan Van Sertima, whole heap of others who find themselves embedded into understanding and proving that African people were the inventors and the creators of a lot of these religious beliefs that was usurped by all the other nations them. And a lot of it start out in Egypt or Kemet. Them usurp our things and put for them touching it and send it back to we. And we can't recognize nothing with them send back to we. We have to dig deep. So we give thanks to like Sheikh Antidiap from Senegal. And as I mentioned, Ben Buchanan and many others who spend their own life for proof say African people is the originator of most of the things them where people hold fast to know in the earth. Yeah, right. Edge, we're there with you. All right, so the next thing we want to deal with is the English class. Why English class is silencing students. That is really what we want to deal with. Why English class is silencing students. No, we can't start play it yet because it's longer than 5 minutes. I don't know if Devon Taylor can call me before 12:30, 11:30. Anybody out there know them send me a message and I want to talk to him. So if Devon Taylor can call me before we go into the next reasoning argument about Africa. Yes, Africa. We can't come off of that. Can't come off of it at all. There's so much diversity, 50 different countries in Africa. We don't start to touch nothing about Africa yet in all of the years where we're up on the radio. We can't go around it. There's so much things to know. And we can't just sit down here and go like say, we know everything. There's so much books to know. And we stop read. Because TikTok and YouTube take up the time now. And they look a frivolousness upon it. You know, the youth them now, the parents them not tell them, so go take up a book or even buy a book and give them. And when I talk about no school book neither. We talk about books like the authors from what I just mentioned. You know, A.J. Rogers and all of these people I just mentioned. Shekanti Diop. And when I say children to me, I talk about all like some 19-year-old, 18-year-old students where all them do is after them done them homework, them go on TikTok. When them there at school as lunchtime come, them go on TikTok. Them don't have no book to guide them in them consciousness, in them levels. And I like when me I go to school. When them the book them read it, them did ban the book them and that never stop you from read them. Never stop because them could arrest you if you have the book them. Yes, there was a time in Jamaica, if them find you with a book that deal with black people business, you go in a jail.
Serious thing.
No doubt about that. That's something we will live through as youth. Teenager, go to school. Nowadays, that not there again. them work power. Yeah, man, them work power, man. That's a year, all them reason, you know. All the one just I say, sure, muta with them African thing again. Them not say, I thought him say, Egypt did enslave African people, everything like, and go get curious and go on them phone and go figure it out. I go find something. If you find something for contradict what I say, I would have prefer that. If it's even for find something for contradict what I say, I would prefer that. At least it will open your faculty of critically thinking about what you read and what I say. And then you can form an opinion or a conclusion and can reason with your brethren. And you say, boy, me hear Muta say something, you know, but I don't believe them something there, Rasta. Because I go up on my internet, up on my phone, and I say, what you think about him, man? What you think? And it start a conversation. I say it build up. You know, see, because really and truly, nothing wrong with doubt, you know. We say that all the while, you know. Nothing wrong with doubt. Because doubt is where the first step of investigating something. When you doubt something, it don't just stop at doubt, you know. You're curious. Curiosity make you go examine what you doubt about. And sometimes you find the answer. And you can't believe it. Say, but boy, look how I never believe that. I look how I doubt that. I look there now. You understand? So we accept all doubt. They want to call my phone now, brethren. You have to call. You have to call the radio station. Yes. You have to call the radio station, brother. You're on the radio all the while. You know, must know the phone number, brethren. Anyway, you can't find it, man. Just call the radio station. You can't call my phone and get on it. Anyway, we're going to take a break and come forward. First African album, Promise of a Future by Hugh Masekela. Mother buy him that album for me. Long time, and I'm a teenager. And I still have it. Give thanks here. Yes. Now, we're going to go connect with Devon Taylor after the next album because he want to give you an update. You know, it's a man where concerned about the beach them and how we lose the beach them. He's a vigilant person as it come on to that. So we want to talk to him a little about what is happening and this court case. Yes, because it's only a court case about the beach. As a matter of fact, Sunday I was on the beach in Portland. Yes, Winifred Beach. I was on Winifred Beach till about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at the night. It was wonderful session up there. Wonderful, yes. And it's just amazing that the people them find solace in the beach and the government want to move them and take it from them. It's a weird thing. Look how far the beach then from the road. And them want to clear all of that now and put up them skyrise up there so now and then says progress. You know, no matter how much money they make off of tourism and how much taxes them collect from tourists when they come off a plane and go up on plane. May I tell you, Hugh Masekela again. Okay, so we're going to talk to Devon Taylor. Most ones hear him. He's always talking about the beach and him take up that as a fight and a struggle against the system to make the people them recognize the beach is a very important part of the cultural activity of Jamaican people. Yes, brethren, Yale.
Yale, give thanks to our son.
Yeah, man, give thanks, man. So what's happening?
So, really, right now, the ones them know say, Ras Maka, transition in Ghana. Yeah. And there's a significance that we want to bring forward to the people then because Ras Maka was the first out in a Bob Marley beach that stand up against the government and stand up against a developer who came into the space and wanted to bribe and to push off fishermen and just regular ones and Rastafari off of Bob Marley Beach. So Maka have a special space in the movement to help decolonize Jamaican beaches as a Rastaman who cite that and say it can't go on.
Yeah.
And so when I kind of see an article in the newspaper and Stephanie Marley link I with Maka, I make a trad in a Bob Marley Beach and meet the brethren and, him start show me certain papers where him have for the space and start giving I the history of Bob Marley Beach. You know what I mean? Also known as Sugarloaf and Mountain Beach and Lions Den. He might give me the history from such time where in the 1950s when Rastafari faced persecution in a West Kingston, them head out to another space there. And so Maka's mother, daughter Bubbles was one of the ancient them who go in that space there and, set it up. The first Naibingi tabernacle was built out in Bob Marley Beach. And from such time, Ras Maka and the Thomas family, in also with Bongo Gabby, them hold that space there from them time there. And it was really, an unfortunate thing when, the ones them moving and wanted to remove them from the beach. Say them want to build a luxury hotel. And Maka said, no, it can't go on. And Maka start fight and start regularize himself in the space. Him apply to adverse possession to get, the space seal up. So therefore them can't, remove them. And them still try all kind of tactics. And the Rastaman hold firm and stand up and say, nah, move. And so when Jabem get involved in the struggle and Muta, you come up to the protest out there and Dr. Gaffan, we have to load up the entire Rastafari community and mobilize, fast, because eminent, developer was coming in with bulldozer to rip down the space, and so we couldn't make that go on. And the scenario is also the government had issued a land title to Ras Maka, and then them pull back the title and say, no, them place their government land them depend, and in order for them control government land, them have to do it for over 60 years. And so we have to start write some press release and make some whole nice by the government and say, even if you say 60 years you have to occupy land pan, Rastaman out there more than 60 years. So they meet the qualification under 60 years and under 12 years as well as possession. So you cannot remove them from the space. And the community show up and give the strength and a Maka hold the fort there to defend Bob Marley beat to all of the ones them in a Jamaica now and all of the ones them in a Kingston and St. Thomas who use the beach there. I will know that a whole heap of people from uptown use the beach there. A whole heap of fishermen use the beach there. The Surfing Association of Jamaica use the beach there. They have to pay homage to that the Rasta man there. You know what I mean? Vince Maka Thomas, because him stood against the face of oppression and steer it down and tell them say they can't take you so. You know what I mean? So when I go into the space as Jabem, I learn a lot from Maka. You know what I mean? And even when the man them come in and raid him herb farm and lock up him youth, and Maka wife, Sister Carmed, had to stand up and Dr. Gaff move into the space and help fight them case there. So a whole heap of tribulation the Thomas family faced to hold steady Bob Marley beach. And also, Bongo Gabby family, the Stevens to them, we're still in at the Court of Appeals right now, fighting to hold Bongo Gabby space in a Bob Marley beach. So the tribulation still continues there, because even the other day we learned that the developers still are try coming in again. You know what I mean? So Bob Marley Beach have to be grateful. We have to be grateful all across the Jamaican island that Maka could stand firm and defend the thing.
Yeah.
And when Maka defend the thing done now, Maka decides that, need to make a repatriation in Africa. You know what I mean? Him fight a battle, him win the battle, them win the land out there, and them settled. And what Rastafari did, Rastafari turn on and say, you know something, I'm going to donate piece of this to Nyabingi Ada and to all Rastafari to rebuild the tabernacle in a Bob Marley Beach. So a space out of Bob Marley Beach right now to rebuild that original tabernacle. You know what I mean? And that show you the goodness of the brethren heart. And he make him trod in Africa. Him go through Ghana and make him way all the way down Central America into Brazil and fly in Ghana and make him journey inside there. And it's just an unfortunate thing that the brethren, pass shortly after him reaching Ghana, him transition in Ghana. But him do him work smoother.
Where them say kill him? Where them say kill him? Where them say kill him?
So the whole thing is not fully known, but know he got sick there.
Oh.
And may have picked up a nasty bug of something, and the emergency services, probably never make it there in time. So in transition honor them thing there, which is for another time for reason about that. But the brethren did him work, do him work a yard, and he make him way back to the motherland. And so, with that said, the family want to now make it into Ghana, to really, send them off to the ancestors. And so you don't know to make them try in Africa a whole heap of money, because unfortunately there's no direct flight between Jamaica and the motherland.
You have to go to America or Panama or England.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So the family want to make a trad, and we are trying to help the family now with a fundraiser, down on the beach on May 11th. So this one send out the sounds across Jamaica and across the world, because they'll give our account number to where anyone, anywhere in the world, and want to make a donation towards the family to really make that trad there, into Ghana. So if the ones them can make it, and we ask the one them to try to make it, May 11th, down on the beach. Big celebration and go on down on the beach there, you know what I mean? The thing are open up around noon, you know what I mean? Whole heap of artists, you know what I mean? Jamil and, you know, Nature Ellis and...
You have the account number? Call the account number.
Yes, the account number right now is with JMMB Bank branch in a New Kingston. So it's 000.
Hold on, the virgin. Hold on, the virgin. Hold on. All right, give me it now. Go on. Go on now.
000 300 190 466.
Okay, and you say a JMB Bank?
Yes, JMBB Bank. JMMB Bank in a New Kingston branch.
Okay.
So, yeah, any donation the ones them have, you know what I mean, that would be very, very welcome by the family, because it's like almost, you know, $1,700 for your ticket. Is $1,656 for your ticket to make that trot there in a Ghana. And, you know, we are trying to see if we can really raise enough money for at least, you know, 5 of the family members them, you know what I mean? Sister Carmen have to make that trip there, you know what I mean? So we are just ask the public out there, you know what I mean, if them can really come in and support, you know, because it's generous, you know. I mean, you know, you buy a ticket you're going free, you make a donation. You make a donation for 2,500, and you're gonna get some ital food and sip. You know what I mean? So you know, that's a reasonable deal. You know, no session at Jamaica where I give you that. And it's for a worthy cause. It's for a worthy cause, because when we see what going on in Jamaica with all of the beaches them, we are our own government in collusion with private, individuals, have displaced many of us. And when we can see, we can stand up and one can stand and face down government and face down, in a private investor and protect a space for the Jamaican people. You know what I mean? We know that them fight, they take certain level of commitment, you know what I mean? Certain levels of just losing the fear and bravery. Yeah. Stand up against them system of oppression, yeah. And Maka did that. You know what I mean? So we'll forever, you know what I mean, remember that brethren, yeah. And we just want the family to really make the trade in Ghana, yeah, and really send them off. So
the time is Saturday the 11th.
Yes.
Saturday, May the 11th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and out Bamal Beach.
Yes.
When it starts, you say, come in about what time people should have started coming? 12?
So, yeah, coming 12, you know, all the activity is going to be out. Yeah. Short time is like, you know what I mean, short time at 6 p.m. in the evening, you know what I mean, but you don't know, I mean, the whole activity, drumming I go out there, you know what I mean, as we say, Bonga Herman is going to in the space, you know what I mean, we have Fred Locks out there, and we have whole heap of other artists,
yeah,
you know what I mean, Kiddos Eye, you know what I mean, Rock Top, and, you know, I mean, Jamil and, you know, Nature Ellis and all them one day, I go in the space and just come really meet the family, come meet an original Nyabingi family who, you know, live a life of Rastafari and protect the space. You know what I mean? So we know that Bob Marley Beach is, you know, the case is still in the court. We're going back in the court on the 24th of May because we need to really protect the track that leads us down to the beach.
And that say, you know, the other day I drive and look for the entrance and couldn't find it.
You see what them do out there? So them build the road and no provision.
Yeah, they build it high. So which part, tell the people which part they must enter from.
So, I mean, all right, you see, because them lick down all the police station, they always use to make use to give the people a spot. So right now, because them have to kind of, you see, it's tough in a muta. You know what we are going to do for the people, them?
Yeah.
We are going to erect a sign. We're going to erect a sign.
I put up some red, gold, and green flag on the road, this edge,
yes,
man.
Yes. Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put some red, green, and gold flag up there. So you can't miss it when you're coming in.
The other day, I miss it, man. I tell you, I miss it bad. Because I say, wait, all the roads so high and the ground long, so. I said, the ground, the queer down there, so I drive up there, so it look like we pass it. And a man said, no, Virgin, never not use that entrance there again, you know?
Right. You know, and you see you have to dip on the other side and kind of make a turn around and come in. Because the man them know have a big border in the middle. And you see, this is the way our government treat us. I mean, big Bob Marley Beach, you know what I mean, iconic space, big celebration, you know, I mean, you know, around One Love Freeman, everything Bob Marley. And the road that leads you to Bob Marley Beach, the government could not make a proper road down there for the community.
No, because them don't want you go down there. That's why them not make no road.
It is the hypocrisy of our government that treat us this way. And so, you know, we'll fight to keep the space and them still put all kind of obstacles and barriers in our way. And we're not going to stop until we get the space fully. We need it to be written on any land titles down there that space belongs to the public, and that we are fight for.
All right, we have to go move, you know. We have to move.
Yeah, man.
All right, give thanks, yeah?
Bob Marley Beach.
Yeah, man. All right. We keep reminding them. Remind them. Yeah, that
man.
was Devon Taylor, as usual. It's a big problem right across the island. Right across the island. They are getting us claustrophobic in our own space. You know, landlock us in our own space. Land of wood and water. No, we don't have no water, as a matter of fact. We see a whole heap of wood. All over the place we see a whole heap of wood. But the water is a problem. Okay, here we go. Can I tell you that we'll be performing at Skyline level this Friday? Yes. Those of you who never see us perform with our musical accompaniment school band, this is your opportunity. Yes, this is the opportunity to see it in a different level. You know, not just the poetry, not just talking, but everything combined together, including the music. I guarantee you'll be pleasantly surprised to know that dub poetry upon them level there. The problem with it is that we do it so much of foreign. It's like it is more respected as usual outside of Jamaica. I hope that when people see we perform this Friday, they may have a different perspective of what dub poetry is all about. Can I tell you about last night at the Louis Bennett Garden Theatre there? The best thing I ever see happening in a Kingston for a long while. May I tell you? Jazz, celebrating jazz in the heart of Kingston there. Plus, night market was part of the whole ambience. Sweet, man. Thousands of people. I mean, me hear people say them take 1 hour to reach inside. With a drive, 1 hour them take to reach inside. And it go on for a little while, rain come, but it never stop. It never stop the music. Because then the rain, we realize that the music now stop, the rain just stop fall. The rain just stop fall, but it was a sweet gathering, man, who want to up Urban Miller, you know. And we want to up the daughter from Night Market, Babsy Grange. Yes, it was a wonderful ambience, wonderful setting. It anybody remember when Sunsplash had keep in a Randy Williams Center there? I bet you never know what's a Sunsplash. Sunsplash had keep in a Randy Williams Center one time, you know. And guess who did on it? Peter Tosh. Them days there, the stall them I go for $25. Rental style of make all stinking to juice and all them where they Oh gosh, man. Yeah, right in around William there. Sunsplash. Well, last night was like a sunsplash. Believe you me, last night was like a sunsplash. It was sweet, man. The jazz a pump and everything. No hot-headedness inside it, so. Yes, okay, so you know, we are going to take a break and come forward. Because, you know, so we reach halfway the program, and so now, halfway. So we are going to take a break. Yes, I don't know. Them like, all right. We could go on, so we want to play this. No, we could go and play this music, yeah, and find it, yeah.
What's good? How y'all doing? What's good? What's good? All right, all right. What if I told you that the way that you use language every day had the power to either uphold or disrupt social injustices? What if I told you that because language is saturated with history and culture and memory, the way that it is policed within our classrooms and our communities is deeply connected to racism and colonialism? You see, when I was 19 years old, I sat on a panel for a room full of high school students. And a woman in the room stopped me in the middle of speaking, and she said, I'm sorry to stop you, but I just want you to know that you are so articulate. And in that moment, she meant it as a compliment. A friend of mine next to me was like, boo! And I was offended. And most people can understand that. Most people say, well, you were offended because you're a young black woman in this space, and this woman found it exceptional that you were mastering standard English. But there's another reason why I was offended. I imagined if this woman heard me speaking with my family who's Trinidadian in Caribbean Creolized English, would she have determined something else about my intellectual capacity? Or if she heard me speaking with my friends in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, in African American English, would she have determined something different about my worth? And in that moment, I understood that the answer was yes. And that deeply disturbed me. It actually became the impetus for my first TED Talk, 3 Ways to Speak English. It actually became the impetus for my research as a social scientist, analyzing the intersections of language, race, and power. You see, I'll share this story, and you gotta work with me, because it's about a man and a lion, and they're talking, all right? Work with me. So, the man and the lion are walking through the jungle together, and they're arguing about who's the strongest. And the lion says, I'm the king of the jungle, I'm stronger than you. And the man says, I'm the king of the world, I'm stronger than you. And they're having this fruitless argument until they stumble upon a picture, still in the jungle, keep working with me, right? And the picture is of a man defeating a lion. And the man says, you see, I told you I'm stronger than you. And the lion says, yes, but who drew that picture? What has become important to my work in working with historically marginalized communities at the intersections of language, race, and power in education is interrogating who authors the dominant narratives and the dominant framings in our societies, in our schools, in our classrooms, in our world. It's important to know that in exploring and doing this research on language, race, and power, I stumbled upon some really interesting contradictions. You see, what I know of myself is that the multiple literacies that I bring to the table, my composite linguistic identity gives me power. But when I enter into institutional spaces, into classroom spaces, that power is not valued and often stripped away. In these spaces that claim to celebrate diversity, that claim to want to celebrate diverse culture, what instead happens is a perpetual invitation to engage in cultural erasure. But I found some contradictions in exploring these questions both contextually and historically, right? So in the social context of now, one of the contradictions I found was with the McDonald's slogan. Who knows that McDonald's slogan? I'm loving it, right? I'm loving it, we know that. What I found in my research is that this slogan is participating in a feature of African American English called consonant variation, the dropping of the letter G. This very statement, I'm loving it, this very feature, this consonant variation is something that would be corrected within a classroom space if I were to write it on my paper. Yet this billion-dollar corporation is able to utilize this linguistic practice for mass appeal and to capitalize on this cultural form of expression. I found another example in the show Modern Family. You know, I love that show. And there's this episode called She Crazy, which is weird because, like, there's not a lot of people of color in the show, right? And so I'm looking at the episode, and throughout the episode, everyone's, she crazy, she crazy, she crazy. And I'm like, okay. I do my research. Brilliant scholars have shown us that another feature of African American English exists there called copular absence, the absence of the verb to be. These features that have been asserted and designated and researched by linguists for years have been established as features of African American English that directly connect to the West African languages that they are historically rooted in. These language practices are valued in particular spaces, but there's a contradiction with what happens in institutional spaces, right? And there's a history here. I trouble up this issue because it is resonant with a history that is deeply rooted in racism and colonialism. There's a West African author, his name is Ngugi wa Thiong'o. I speak of him often. He wrote this book called Decolonizing the Mind. He speaks about his time existing in colonial Kenya. He was there before Kenya was colonized. He said there was a time when the language of the classroom and the language of the community were one, but then came a colonial education. He said Berlin of 1884 was affected through the sword and the bullet, right? But the night of the sword and the bullet was followed by the morning of the chalk and the blackboard. He said the bullet was the means of physical subjugation. Language was the means of spiritual subjugation. What would happen is, if you were caught speaking your mother tongue, Gikuyu, in the classroom, in colonial Kenya, you would either be physically beaten or you would have to wear a sign around your neck that said, I am stupid or I am a donkey. It was very important to the colonial subjugation process that the language of the people who were being oppressed was divorced from the community. Those are some of the practices that we reiterate today. When I talk about liberation literacies, the work that I do with educators across our country, it's because that historical and contextual dissonance that I'm bringing up plays out right now in our world. I work with members of historically marginalized communities. Young Black people who say, yes, I engage in Black literacy practices, but in places where I feel safe. A sense of fugitivity exists there that has historical resonance in American chattel slavery, a time when it was illegal for Black people in this country to be able to read and write. A lot of that resonates with what's happening today in our classroom and in our world. There are so many ways to engage in racism. There are so many ways to engage in oppression. There are wonderful scholars who say language is a site of cultural struggle, right? And if we think about that, if we think about what it means in our institutional spaces to continue participating in the erasure and the oppression of people from historically marginalized groups instead of incorporating, validating, and celebrating who they are in these institutional spaces, then we do a disservice to ourselves and to our world. So a lot of times when I bring up this conversation, that question of standard English as the language of power comes about. Which is why I brought up the McDonald's example, which is why I brought up the spaces where this power exists. There's a wonderful book called Articulate While Black that speaks about President Obama's ability to navigate multiple languages and literacies, and that centrality, the centrality of that was essential to the success of his campaign. You see, a lot of times you hear the word minority to refer to people who look like me. But I'm a member of the global majority. And it means that the languages, the literacies, and the power that comes from the marginalized spaces that people of color navigate have wonderful tools and power to transform our world, to give us access. So when I talk about liberation literacies, really what I'm talking about is a set of principles that emerge out of the work that I do, the research that I've done, and the practice that I engage in. And actually, a lot of what you saw today is framed by these principles that I'm going to share with you in a moment. The idea that the voices of these young people cannot be constrained and limited to that typical 5-paragraph essay. The power of what they have to say is so much deeper than that. And to silence them and to continue marginalizing the identities of students in the service of a singular standard is violence. So there are 5 principles, and I call these paradigm principles. I call them paradigm principles because often when I share these principles, educators, administrators, people who work in educational contexts, it just sounds like more work to do. Like, oh, you're giving us more work to do, we got enough to do, right? But these are paradigm principles, and I say they're paradigm principles because they are principles that are centered on and governed by a paradigm shift. Stephen Covey says that paradigms are maps. Low-key, I want Stephen Covey to be my white uncle, like really, like, I love this guy, right? So he said, like, paradigms are maps. It's the way that we approximate reality. And so what I'm saying is that once we reconstruct and understand that institutional spaces must reimagine themselves to truly understand, integrate, and accept the diversity that exists in our world, we need new paradigms in order to enact that. Actually, right now, many of the predominantly white institutions that exist in our world still have the infrastructure from slavery. Predominantly white institutions that exist in our world still have the infrastructure from slavery. There are historical colleges right now that still have the slave quarters built in. If we don't reimagine our institutional spaces beyond just the inclusion of having someone of a different race in the space, then we are not truly integrating anything, right? So the first, there are 5 principles, and the 5 principles, there are 5 A's. They're all A's because I'm a poet and I like rhythm, I like alliteration, it's just who I am, right? So there are 5 A's. And the first A speaks to awareness. The first A says, who am I? If we are thinking about nurturing youth voice, creating space for youth voice in our classrooms in new and in powerful ways that disrupt the historical, racist, colonial perceptions that we've upheld for too long, it has to begin with critical awareness. Who am I as a student? Who am I as an educator in the space, and what does that mean in our world? And it's not just a random awareness, but an awareness of the social identities that we each navigate, including the language practices that we bring to the table. So that I get to say, well, actually, I speak African American English, I speak Caribbean Creolized English. There are multiple ways that I understand and articulate and name the world around me, right? The first A is that awareness. Thinking about who you are and what your linguistic repertoire consists of. The second A speaks to agency and access. You see, once you understand who you are, once you understand the privileges that are associated with different aspects of who you are, or the way that who you are is marginalized in different ways, once you get a full understanding of what that means in our communities, a lot of young people, I work with a lot of young people who engage in African American English practices but have no idea that it has value. Because they've been taught that it's wrong, that it's bad, that it's delinquent, that it's deficient. Once you go through that awareness process and you become aware that my language has power, right? Once you become aware of that, then you say, well, what kind of agency and access exists for me in the world? Because of the way that I speak, because of the tools that I bring to the table with my linguistic repertoire, there are spaces that I can access in the world. There's agency that I can have. That was the argument for Barack Obama's ability to access and bond with different communities, because he could speak in different ways. The third A speaks to actualization. This principle, this paradigm principle says, if we do not create continuous opportunities to actualize different ways of knowing and being and expressing in institutional spaces, then we're not doing this work. And that goes directly to the term liberation, right? So the term liberation, when I say liberation literacies, the term liberation in this framework is actually rooted in liberation theology. Liberation theology argues for the interpretation of scripture from the perspective of the oppressed. Understanding that the central figure of scripture was actually someone who was poor and marginalized. And it reimagines the way that we can interpret the world if we understand the power that happens in the margins. And so that liberation piece speaks to the disruption that happens in actualization. Having a TED Talk at the center of your English curriculum is disruptive. This disrupts the traditional notions of what it means to read and write in our world, right? What it means to inscribe yourself into the narrative of history beyond the 5-paragraph essay is that I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna speak from the power of my voice. That's actualization, that's disruptive, and that's powerful. The fourth A speaks to achievement. Because a lot of times when I do this work, there are folks who are like, well, you just want the kids to be lazy. Actually, it takes a lot more work to be fully invested in who you are, what you have to say, than to perform school for somebody who is imposing a structure on you. Achievement means that we have rigorous, powerful standards, not just for our students, but for our classrooms and our institutions. How are our institutions and our classrooms achieving the aims of true diversity and equity? When we think about achievement, we often think about assessing the students, and we never think about assessing the institutions that are meant to serve the students. So achievement is not unidirectional. It says we want to understand how engaging in this process transforms the student, but how engaging in this process transforms the space and transforms the discipline. I work with young people in New York City, and we teach them the qualitative research process. They do research, powerful research on their schools and community, but they learn it alongside hip-hop literacies. So when they're sharing with you their research data and analysis process, sometimes they spit in bars. It changes the way that we imagine engaging in the exchanging of content. It actually transforms it. When we engage in hip-hop cultural practices around freestyle, extemporaneous practices, different cognitive abilities come to the fore. There's value in those practices that challenge the discipline. So achievement speaks to that. Achievement speaks to challenging the standards that we hold for ourselves and our institutions and our world. And then the last A speaks to alteration and action. It means that this is a principle that says that we are invested in understanding that our institutions must be adaptable, must be accommodating, and truly inclusive of diverse ways of knowing, So once we understand the way that a different form of literacy, that the linguistic repertoire, the histories, the cultures, the memories of the young people that we work with, once we understand the way that that challenges this institution, we think about how we reimagine the institutional space. My curriculum can't stay the same. My pedagogical approaches cannot stay the same. This institution might need to reimagine itself. Back to the hip hop example, in hip hop, the cipher that we participate in is a circle. There is no one person standing at the front bearing all knowledge and imposing it on the room. It's a democratic space. So when I teach in my classrooms as a professor, we gotta sit in a circle. We gotta challenge the idea of what teaching and learning looks like, because I'm learning from this cultural space that there are different ways of imagining our world. I say to you this story of my father, who taught me how to ride a bike when I was 10 years old in Brooklyn. And I had a little pink bike, and he, he's just like, all right, jump on it, go for it. I got on the bike, and I fell, right? Because I didn't know how to ride a bike. So over and over again, he tried to get me, he tried to hold me, it didn't work out. So he said, get off the bike. He has a thick Trini accent, so he didn't say like, get off the bike, right? He has like a whole accent. So he's like, get off the bike. I get off the bike, and he's like, do you have balance? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm 10, I don't know. He's like, do you have balance? He said, so I want you to stand on one foot. I stood on one foot. He said, a couple of minutes, I'm like, yo, this guy's tripping. Like, I don't know what's going on with daddy today, but okay, I'm just on this sidewalk standing on one foot. After a couple of minutes, I found my balance. He said, now get back on the bike. I got back on the bike and I rode straight down the block. What my father taught me in that moment was that if I did not have balance in myself, it would be impossible for me to have balance on the bike. I introduced this framework, this notion of liberation literacies, and a call to action for a paradigm shift that begins with a critical awareness of yourself and your world. Because if we do not have socially just practices in ourselves, here, in the silence, then it is impossible to have social justice in our world. Thank you.
Okay, Ian.
Yeah,
Ian?
blessed.
Yeah, blessed man.
Yeah, man. Because music is music, You know, anywhere in the world, yeah, music is just music. Yeah, man. Well, Muta, more big up first, more big up the lady we are running Jamaica for Justice, Michelle Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, me like how she, how she run it. Yeah, how she active, yeah, and I deal with it. No partisan thing she go on,
Yeah.
Just human rights thing she deal with. Yeah, man. When you see people, them way there, you have to really give them respect,
Yeah.
But the thing we may talk about now, are the DPP. The DPP, she's still inactive.
No, man, them tell us that she have to done the same day, man.
Okay. Because me see it is like she'd have run about a year illegal.
Yeah, that the PNP said, so them come, the court say yes, them have to let her go.
But it look away, when people just want to hold on and that's why I want constitutional reform and set up this constitution for Jamaica, because
Then you say the Republic now I'm not getting next year. It not happen again next year.
well, me not see where them people can deal with it, To be frank, No. Because you can't have 6 people investigate. They might investigate 6 people in a parliament for enrich themselves off of taxpayers' money and all them things there. And expect them to make law and create law, legislate law, seeing for people, especially constitution where you don't know, say, the constitution, a 10 chapter, you know.
So who are going to do it? Who are going to do it?
Well,
if them can't do it, who are going to do it?
Well, you almost see it now, you know. Almost see it now. Them, something new has to go come to deal with it, you know.
Like what, sir? Like what?
It's a new government. A new government has to go deal with it, Muta. See, because how me look upon it, you know, the government have too much thing to hide, you know.
Yeah, but the people have two choices right now. It's either PNP or GLP.
That's what I say.
So you have to have a PNP then.
I saw it have to go.
So you have to have PNP then.
Yeah, them have to deal with it if them win. Or if either one a reform or get out the illicit and the six and reform themselves on a level because them want to dirty from top to bottom, you know, Muta. So, you know, it's like it's their way, you know. Jamaica, you know, it messed up, man.
So why if you say the other one them now will stay the same way?
No, well the reason why I said that, you know, is like maybe the other one them are go fresh. So them can deal with what we deal with until because if them come, you know, if them come and I deal them with, you know, we there for them, you know, as Pan-African, you know.
No, but what I say, we are not going to talk about the Republic something.
Yeah.
And them look about the Republic. You say this government can't deal with Republic business. And you say no PNP, you say the PNP are going to deal with it or have to deal with it. But all you know say PNP now going to do the same thing with the GLP.
All right, I'm sure you are going with that government, you know. I 2 years now that government put in a constitutional ministry, you know. And don't pass nothing, and don't legislate nothing. One
we are no whole man. We are talking about Republic, and we pass to where them are do and where them not do. You just say the PNP are going to deal with it. Somebody say, oh, you know, say the PNP are going to different from the GLP to deal with it with Republic. Because them are claim now say it can't do next year again. So you are saying, oh, them to come out of power and get the PNP. Somebody say, oh, you know, say the PNP now going to do something the same way.
No, we can't if. We can't if, you know, we have to just say them are going to do it. Because between the two of them, see if you get the level, I say.
No, we're not a problem. If I don't see two of them, we have to work with.
Yeah, but we're not a problem. We're not a big problem. But it has to deal with because this king thing now work. See if you understand what I say. So me I say, this government more over like a PR. Seeing them just PR because even look even the census. This government coming like that, my census them can't complete, you know. See, because you don't know, we're Pan-African, we talk it like how we see it. Seeing human rights activists. Seeing a census, something like a census in our country, I take up so long and all know them can't complete a census. To take up a census. Seeing, look on the constitutional, them have a constitutional ministry now, you know. Where them are use money and them are spend money, how much money, taxpayers' money, all them things there. And about 2 years now, them have that ministry there. And them can't legislate a law, them can't, and not done. See, the Republic thing, it defer to, see, so that's what I say. And when you look on it, when you look on how it's set up now, you hear say 6 people are investigate. Seeing in the government, in the cabinet. Seeing now if you have 6, just put it away there. If say you have 6 criminals, you can't have 6 criminals and make law and create law, seeing and legislate law, seeing laws like constitutional law, because constitutional law, you know, govern all law, you know. Seeing 10 chapter that, you know. You understand what I say? Seeing so it complicated to me see go on. See if you see me I say.
Yeah, what I say, but I'm still depend it. But
no, you can't depend. The reason why I'm saying no. the two are too evil, but at the same time, saying that evil and not create nothing not go on under this. Saying till you hear now say it's not go happen till 2025 and because the time and this that really. If to 1,000 miles, you know, you have to make a step, you know. See? So the journey could have long to 1,000 miles. You have to start a step. See? And no step now start. See? It's more like a PR thing go on, you know, like people just a PR to see what can go on with like winning election and all them because foolishness there. At Jamaica people we are dealing with Jamaica. See if you understand what I say.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
See it? So, when I look on it now, I just look on it where and say, I saw it go. I don't know if you see that view there, you know, but that view there means say, because me you can have a different view, you know.
So, you are saying now, say, next election, the people they must vote out the government. That's what you say.
Yeah, well, you see, me no go around curve and me not talk. Me no none of them. Me no PMP nor GLP. Me a human rights activist, right? You hear me? Seeing a Pan-African, seeing a human rights activist, work with Amnesty International. Me, I say, right now, if you have a government with 6 people where they for investigation and them little thing there, you have to go deal with a new government. Seeing because this is law, you know, we don't want to make that mistake like Bustamante, like where Bustamante got England and them white people there, seeing each up a thing, bitch up a thing and give them, and them come down with it. And the only thing where benefit is them, seeing. But when them all do something, them can't go prison, them can't go jail because it have loophole. And that happened to the Constitution, you know. See? That's why you have all people, thief, all education money, the youth them money, the little youth them education money, which for them not turn criminal. See? Or for them not grow up as a criminal. Seeing them go good school and go and the school will help them. You have man a thief them money and still through the law have loophole, big lawyer can send to England and Ray and go on till all 5-6 years. Nothing you know hear about it and everything wash out. See? We want this constitution we are going to go on now. Seeing what we the people's constitution. We want to set things where we show say a work politician them a work. With we. You understand? Them a serve we. See? You understand? And we are going to pay them. Our taxpayers' money pay them. So them are work with we. And we set laws where govern them. Seeing? Like 2-term. Seeing everything.
We can't do that with the government. Yeah. We have to do it with PNP. We can't do it with the government. Yeah.
No, Muta. The government tainted.
And the other one not tainted.
The other one maybe a different leader. I don't know. Maybe them come something different. Seeing I start going on. You have to just put it like how it's set, you know. You have a new man that work for you. The old man seeing him
you say
mash
new?
Up your house.
No, who you say new
no,
man?
but by leader level, leaders.
A long time Mark Golden I work a politician, you know.
Yeah, but Mark Golden never be prime minister yet, Muta.
Yeah, but that no means the truth. So what?
Yeah,
that
but prime minister have a whoop of power, man. Prime minister have enough power and enough power. Prime minister have enough. See, just listen to what I say, man.
No, listen to what I say, but I agree with what I say.
And watch me now, with some clean people and some clean other people.
So which like one of them in a PNP cleaner than which one of them?
With some younger youth and everything and some younger man will never no tainted yet. And that me I talk about, you know.
Which
See,
one of them, oh, you know, PNP now have no tainted person in them party?
Yeah, but blessed. Watch me now. Hear me I say, man.
I hear what you say, man.
See, me no say PNP have no tainted people in our world.
But them less tainted, that you say.
But them less tainted is a smaller evil. See? You get the level me I say? See? And
you keep
when you look on this now, where I go on now, you look on the present, you know. A man...
No, I don't look on the president. I look at PNP there from 1900. PNP there and JLP there for a long time. And the two of them are going the same way from how much years?
So,
why
so
you feel
on.
say
So that means
the PNP are going to change?
So muta. So that means you're not going to have no start for Republican.
No, that means
you
you're not sure the two of them and find something else.
Yeah, but we are going to find what they you are just too evil. You have to choose after.
No, Bridget, look at. All right, go and talk at that.
Yeah, we all choose after. You're not going to choose after. So you have to choose after the small. You have whosoever.
So what happened to the people them?
Yes, one of them have to do it, you know.
No, wait, this. What happened to the people them voice for communicate what them want?
Muta, no, me and your voice out all the way. No, we have voice out, man, about constitution change.
And the PNP are going to listen to it more than the JLP.
People want a constitution change?
So the
constitution change?
So the PNP want to change?
No, you think them politicians, yeah. We are pressure. We not about PNP politician, that JLP politician. We are pressure.
But you want to PNP or JLP? You say PNP or JLP?
Yeah, but no, the two of them, you know, if you have a parliament for that
I don't say, look, I don't say you have to have a parliament, you know.
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, they have a parliament how much years now, and I don't see the trajectory of the country move.
That's
so we need a new party or a new group of people.
With the party there. Something the party. Him come and them jail him one time. See? And him run down hide. What name? Because I don't remember his name, you know. See?
Oh.
And
Patterson,
yeah.
Patterson you talk about.
See? And him run down hide and him don't know say struggle or something where you have to put your life on the line. See? You have to move like Marcus, you have Malcolm X.
Then they arrest him that day when they go march on someone.
Yeah. And a little one march, they went march, them arrest him and him don't know say if him get more arrests and more people and more power him gonna get.
Like Donald Trump.
Like Donald Trump, yeah. See? So him don't know them things that so him but when you break it down now, it's only two evil we have to choose after. See? One of the evil we are going to know tainted, see, and it kind of stay away with them, you know, because you have a ministry, see, where you create now. You create a ministry, a constitution, a ministry, see, and you have that. I go for 2 years now, and you can't nothing legislate, nothing reform. You can't reform some laws, see. Say no reach republic yet then. You can't take time and reform some law. You don't reach nowhere. You don't go couple tonal meeting and you say you eat tonal meeting and nowhere. Seeing it now go. And then when you look on it now, it look away because if 6 people under investigation and you are dodge and guess what dodge and you are dodge.
So let me ask you a question. It's not the PNP and the JLP come together to deal with the Republic something. It's just the JLP deal with it. The PNP have no information, have no intake in it.
No, them are going to have intake in it, but
no, me not told them are go.
You don't know how Parliament run, Muta, man.
Wait, no, me not say them are go.
The government in power.
Listen to me, I said, man. Listen to me, I said, you said them are go. Want them to know. It's not no them a go. One to the two parties them a sit down, which them a do, and I try to rectify the Republic thing.
Muta.
And the two of them a do it, you know.
Yeah, but the leader half a lead, you know, from
it's where the two of them come together and deal with.
No, Muta, listen, man.
What do you mean, no?
So you don't know that. If
no.
At the GLP, at the leader right now, no.
Look at
the Prime Minister, you know.
The PNP are government, you know. The PNP is part of the government, you know.
The PNP can only come after the government do something.
The PNP is part of the government.
Just listen.
When them sit down in a part, no, man, I listen to what you have to, but listen to me.
Them can only come in after a man say, all right, say a man say,
listen to what me I say, no.
That thing from Irie.
No, right? You're going to listen to what me I say now?
Yeah, I'm listening now.
All right, listen to me now. The PNP and the JLP is the government of Jamaica. The two of them sit down in a parliament and make decisions. So them have one majority and one minority. But in certain things, for instance, on the Republic thing, the two of them have to come together and figure out what the people them want and what the people them don't want. No one party can decide what the people them want in our Republic when them have town hall meet, when them have meet together, where we don't know about what them have. And them sit down and rectify the thing, just like how Buster and Manley did sit down and give the Constitution. The PNP and the GLP is the government. Them going to go sit down and decide which Constitution them are going to give it, how the government are going to run. It's just so it go.
But who are going to lead it? Who you think are lead it?
The PNP and the GLP are going to lead it.
Muta, the government were in hand.
They're not two of them no government.
Right,
the two of them are government.
All right, you see the man said, Muta moved that from Irie. The opposition come in, which is the PNP, come and say, no, we can't move that because so and so and so. You understand? But the start have to go from the government we are ruled now. You get the level what I say?
May I listen to you, Reggie?
You understand what I say though? So if say, all right, say I laugh for reform now. Say them all reform, say, all right, election for call, seeing every 5 years, seeing and we are call election the 28th of November, every 5 years, right? It going to start from the ruling government, you know, from the government, the person we are ruling now, the Prime Minister. Seeing, he will come up with a suggestion, you know. Seeing with that, you know. Seeing, you see, if the opposition now come in now and say, no, man, because 20 years too close to Christmas, man. Seeing, put it at 20. Seeing, and then down them sign up. They say, if the man feel like got a 28, he might go use same numbers. Seeing, when have, seeing, in the upper house. Seeing, are in a parliament, seeing, and get it to the 28th. So the government always call the shot, and the government spend the purse, and the government have the purse, you know. Seeing, are the Prime Minister then, seeing, put it away there.
I know what you're saying, Richard. I know what you're saying, I know what you're saying, but me I say, in the idea of farming a republic, that means say you make the country become something else.
Yeah, and that
we are farming a republic.
That involves constitutional lawyers them too, you know. Attorney them too, you know.
Yeah, the two of them is either PNP or GLP.
Muta.
Yeah, we have to take a break.
Yeah.
The time on IRI FM is?
Time is 3 minutes past 1 o'clock. Okay. We don't have no name there. Jais. All right. No, yeah, you me say no.
Yeah.
This is not you go sit down in the house and say, choose your government and you have the majority in the house. You go say, we want this in the republic. We want the Prime Minister to be the president. Well, this president, you know, going to be the leader of our party. And you just say, sign off on that. It's a republic you try farm.
Yeah, then you have constitutional lawyers.
So the parliament, the government cannot come now. This leading government, you know, cannot come and say, all right, we want, we want Babsy Grange to be the president. And all of the man them in the JLP say, yeah, we want Babsy. It don't work that way.
No, that's why them have a constitutional.
There are the two parties them are going to decide it. But are the two parties them are going to decide it.
Reach nowhere all now.
No, but are the two parties them are going to decide it. Are the two parties, one can't say, all right, me want only to be president of the republic, and then everybody say, because them say them want president of the republic, everybody will say, yeah, we want president of the republic.
All right, you mean I like
the two of them have to come to that conclusion. Say yes, like give it the prep.
But I like to talk to a constitutional lawyer. Seeing on the program one of them nights. Seeing because you see all the way I go on with the republic and the constitution and all. If you notice, you know, the government set up a constitutional
No, me not say the government. Of course, the government never set it up. But but I say that. But the government cannot come and say, me want wholeness to be the president, and you can't do nothing about it.
No, individually, no, but that's different. Because we are take part in the Constitution too, you know.
But a republic can't talk about
me have some suggestion and some laws, you know, where me and some people talk about and seeing all
then suppose the opposition agree with you and the JLP not agree with you. Suppose the PNP agree with you and the JLP not agree with you.
No, man, no PNP we are deal with people and we have set up the law.
But it's the same people, them are going to set up the law. It's the same people, is the PNP or the JLP are going to set up the law. That's what you say.
Yeah, but Muta, we are putting our thing to, you know.
No, so we are putting the thing, you know.
Right now, the people
who going to accept the thing? Who going to accept your thing? Who going to accept your thing? Who going to accept your thing? Who going to accept it?
No, you don't know. You don't know if they're going to accept it or
no. All right.
That's why I not really talk about something and it's not happening yet, you know.
No,
really.
If them say...
Me I push my thing and if it happen, it happen.
All right, so if them say it happen...
And if me have to revolute.
If them say it going to happen, who going to decide say it going to happen?
No, who for decide?
Who?
No, who I deal with it? The constitutional...
The PNP or the JLP? Which one are they?
No, it's PNP. Muta.
No, PNP. You said no, they're you say with them, they're too evil.
They're not them are the government. No, them are the government. Muta.
But that tell you, them are the government. PNP and JLP are the government.
I tell you, JLP head the government, so the head starts from them.
It no matter if them are the head or not. If you have a constitutional reform, the two parts of them must come together and come to a conclusion about what is what and what is not.
All right, so Muta.
Yeah.
I can say something.
Yeah, man.
All right. So basically, as it is, them reach a stage now where it's like the JLP party want to go forward with the constitutional reform, as them say, because them say them do them town hall meetings and these things already, and so them ready to move on. As you say, it take consultation between both the JLP and the PNP, and the PNP on board with them and in agreement with them in terms of moving forward. But the only sticking point, the big sticking point where them have right now is that the JLP want to maintain the Court of Appeal, which is the High Court Upper England, while the PNP has said that we should have got towards the Caribbean Court of Appeal. And so that's where them have them big difference right now. But otherwise, them all agreed in terms of moving forward and having...
The two of them have to agree.
So the two of them.
The two of them have to agree. The two of them is the government.
Yes.
The JLP can't come with something in our republic.
No, Muta, I'm not dispute here, you know, but me I tell you, say, you see the same thing what Shane talk about, where they not agree seeing with the court, the High Court, for the High Court be...
So it's stuck now. It gets stuck.
See? So it gets stuck. That's what I'm telling you, say, the leading government...
It can't come now and say them no business where you are say. The leading government can't come say, I don't business where PNP want to say, I go through with it.
No, them can't do that.
Then that me tell you.
Yeah, a constitution.
But that me tell you, so it's a democracy. It's a democracy. So it's a democracy. So the two of them have to come to the conclusion. But the thing, so the two of them is the government.
Yeah.
It's just that me say, no, the two of them is government. One can't say, what you know, me want ban bad word, and the other one say, no, me no want bad word. I have to come to a conclusion about it.
But me I try to tell you, say, the PNP can't start nothing, because them are the government.
No, I don't talk about start or stop, you know. I talk about
the GLP have to start.
The two evils where I talk about. It's the two evils me I talk about, you know.
Yeah.
It's just the two evils, and now we are talking about constitution reform and them thing there. One can get up one day and come say, boy, right now, look at, we have to go do something about the road, them now, we have to dig them up. And the other one I say, no, me no, you not dig them up, you know. And the other one I say, oh, I'm me the ruling party. Me I go tell you, say it, I go dig up. It don't work that way.
No, especially this big thing we're going on, the constitution, it don't work that way.
That's why you see
the
that in America,
Constitution.
them have a Supreme Court.
But
Supreme
like
Court.
all right, like the little law where the ombudsman where them chop on the electoral manager what they where them just voting and vote for it go on. Them little thing that them can go on, with them numbers, with the amount of numbers that them have, But the Constitution now.
No, you have things where the jail people, because them have more people in the parliament there. They can't vote on something and the whole of them vote. And they say, a pure JLP, them win by 2 people, or them win by 4 people. Them do it. But when you come about changing the Constitution,
there's a different thing.
And changing the kind of government where we have a Republican government.
There's a bigger thing.
There's no me as the leader party, so therefore, no, so it work. It work with the two of them are government.
So
the 2 of them is government, brethren.
But when you look on Wagwan, like them are move slow, like something.
Yeah, well, obviously them are move slow. That's why them are say it can't happen next year again. It can't happen next year. That them I say. So anyway, we have to go move now because we're there like half hour about.
Man. Yeah, bless it.
All right, yeah. Yes, this is a stepping razor. No, I got that one. My mouth I run fast and my brains. All right, this is the cutting edge. We're there with you. I know so we have one good all whole lot and yeah, nobody cuss me, trust me. I give you a start, nobody cuss me, no. Can't take the cussing of the night, yeah. Okay, my customer is not going to play, so this me not going to play, Batonga. Here we go. People are calling me upon, you can't call me upon the WhatsApp and get me on the radio. You understand that? I have a WhatsApp number, I tell you all the while. Never ever turn on the WhatsApp. We never ever turn on the WhatsApp. We could play this. A group out of South Africa called Pure Gold. Yes, not Lady Smith Black Mamba, that is Pure Gold. Yeah, Hail.
Greeting.
Yeah, blessed.
Yeah, greeting Rastafari.
I see.
On Perfect Love, brother. I'm on just want to commend on the tape that I played earlier on, the sister reason for it.
Oh, about culture and the language.
Liberation, literacy in particular.
Yeah.
The deal with language and the importance. Language.
Yeah, man, give thanks.
Yeah, man. So, from Iowa, like maybe about some 25 years. Or more. I'm on always feel proud to know one utterance I of any African language. But the first set of African language I you're as Rasta, as youth. Amharic.
Oh, yeah?
Like Peter touch on them Monday.
The first one me hear was Swahili.
Okay, well, Sata Matagana should be baby older than lot of them still and
no, well, me not talk about from music, Me just talk about from my Black Power days.
Okay,
the 60s.
Okay.
I get oriented into Swahili, them used to talk Swahili.
Well, at the same vibration, But the thing where man wants to say is even Pan-Africanist, I'm on a Rasta man, but I'm on a Pan-Africanist also,
Of course.
Rasta, no understand what that means.
Every Rasta is supposed to be Pan-Africanist.
But all I know, some of them are Christian.
Okay. Well, that's a religion, that.
Yeah, So,
we had the whole on there. A Pan-Africanist can be a Christian,
Yes. But Christianity, it can't be Eurocentric because a brand of Christianity, especially one we practice in the West, especially at Jamaica, so.
Yeah.
A Greco-Roman mythology.
Yeah.
Even when they close their eye, them are going to see a white image with them as yeah. Them not say Yahushua and Jesus Christus.
So when you touch your eye,
Jesus
so when you touch your eye, you say Jesus Christus?
No, so I man not say Haile Selassie. I man
No,
say Haile Selassie straight and I now get confused.
Okay.
I not even me or there I said something one time and I agree say we can't dash the baby and the bath water and fully over so there I come from. But if we stay focused, I man just I sit up with the Xavier, get him away high. Comfortable with that. But where I want to touch still is
you have to touch it quick though, you know, because we have advertisement.
The intellects among I and I as Rasta who can read and write properly. I think them are waste time or them don't know the importance of liberation literacy. Because that have to do with the language. You know, they need to stop glorify the language of the oppressor, which basically the English language we have because go to school and you can't talk English good. We need to dash with that all of that spell inferiority complex, my brother. You see? And if we can't trample upon that, you have a bright and intelligent and all of that, you have a lose out by spirituality. Because every language functions on a different frequency. And the highest frequency right now is the Amaringa and the Keys. Because them things...
You can't talk Keys?
Yeah, man, I touch a little bit tight. But normally, when you speak American Keys use that together, even in Ethiopia, because each Haile Selassie, the word Haile Selassie is not American. It is Giz. All of the divine, every word we have to do with divinity. It is Giz, because Giz is a pure language. There's no curse word in Giz. I might know that.
All right, so let me ask you a question now. Why you say American Giz is the highest, where you call it a while ago?
What do you mean when we call it? Yeah, well, like, what's that? Frequency, we're talking about Rasta.
No, that's true. I remember frequency, man, or Rasta, be yourself, no, man.
Yeah, but the God go on, like, if they can't raise up on church level,
no, hold on, hold on, man.
Yeah, but I hold on, Rasta, reason,
you just mentioned something a while ago. And you mentioned frequency. I true, me don't remember the word frequency you say when I deal with it.
No, that means you don't listen to the pitch because I know frequency.
No, me never say me don't know what frequency mean. Me say me don't remember the word where you use.
The computer, who hold together within Iowa.
No, but if you can't hold together so you got angle me.
No, man, I don't do that.
You tell me frequency and true me don't remember the word. You say me not deal with nothing. True me don't remember the word.
Well, I think I gave me a make come like it there.
Yeah, no. See, you depend on wrong frequency if you think that a game me a make.
All right, well, we don't want to get competitive.
All right, so let me ask you again.
Yes.
When you say American Giz is the highest frequency, what you mean by that?
So Ethiopia the first, and that especially Giz, even the average Ethiopian on the street or Ethiopian don't know Giz. Giz is like a liturgical language.
Yeah, but I know that me ask you, Bridget.
Because Haile Selassie speaks.
What is about the language that make it be the highest frequency?
That Haile Selassie speaks, and I have him in the highest order. So I don't know if there is an agreement with that.
But every one of the priests them speak American Giz. Every one of them.
Yes.
So.
But I answer your question as to why.
No, you say because Haile Selassie speak it.
Yeah. And in a layman term, a God language, a bird language, in America, every sound that can be made even by animals, can be written in Amaringa. And I think that I know some of them. I think that I know these things.
No, I don't know Amharic, I don't know Amharic.
No, I'm not saying that you know Amharic, but you know African, you're supposed to know the power.
No, I don't know the power the way I talk about. That specific power.
So when the majesty a chant Rasta, they don't know say the highest level that.
When my majesty a chant?
Yes, when his majesty speaks.
Yeah, I know the word.
At Geneva and
them translate the word them I say.
Yes, but even before translation go on, the frequency.
I don't understand when they talk Amharic. I don't understand when they talk Amharic.
Well, you me I go sit there against of this one me attack still. Even though I look on it that way, because I never thought to say that, but there is one of the intellect among I and I.
No,
so
but I don't understand Amharic. I don't understand Amharic, Virgin. But
you can if you want to. Don't.
Yeah, no, well. When I listen to talk Amharic, I don't understand what I'm saying.
But yeah, man, we hear that, man. But what I'm saying to the eye, as a man who can speak English properly and even can read that.
No, I can't talk English properly neither.
No, man, I heard me hear you do that, man. I know your levels, man. So you can't run from that.
Okay.
So what I said, okay, I think it's imperative for all the intellects among I and I as Rasta, we see Haile Selassie within certain light as even a teacher.
Yeah. You think so must learn Amharic?
Some form, if it's even enough to say, give thanks, or let the word of I and I mouth. Abitura that they made any time ye Africa and ye lebe a sebe sete yamare ye un. We just say let the words of I and I mouth and the invitation of I and I heart be acceptable by sight or most Ixia ear Ketamawe Haile Selassie. If we can say that, even if I'm on the people
when you say what happened when you say it? When you say it, what happened? What happened when you say it?
It's soothing, man. It's filling. The first thing it do, it keep you in the know. So if they know the power of know, if you can't stay in the know, to even.
Me not a big problem, bro.
9 seconds.
Me not a big problem. Me not a big problem.
What happened to you?
I have never yet sit down and say I want to study Amharic because the only place I hear Amharic talk is in Ethiopia. And when I go to the other African countries, I don't hear that language. Swahili is the biggest, is the most known common language in Africa. Most Africans will talk African language.
Yeah, but it is not it's not the most powerful.
But power in what way? What power you searching for in the language?
Within a levels, man. Within a frequency. Within a
language.
Within a levels, we not talk about the material levels.
Yeah, language is to make other people understand what you're saying. That's why I use language.
Yes, but some so you want other people to understand where you're out. You're out maybe to the king himself.
Muta you utter in your conscious. Muta your conscious. You utter in your spirit. Muta you utter in your spirit, in your mind, and you don't use words.
Right.
So you don't think about words.
Even if you utter, the word are present in your mind without the sound, So there must be a language within that level. There I see. Talk to me.
No, so where I say, Regine, so where I say. Because you see me start to talk now, you have to that different attitude to where me I go.
No, man, you have a reason. You have a free up, man, and reason.
All right, you want to know. Language, you see if you talk to somebody, in order for them understand you have to talk for them language. You see, if you go talk Amharic to them on the road, them not going to understand where you're at.
No, man, you have to teach them. You have to teach them.
No, hold on, no, brethren. Teach why? You can't sit up on a corner. You just a pass a man and you hear him and he might do something wrong and you start talk Amharic to him. What time teaching you going to teach him? What you going to teach him, say?
Your first utterance now go with that. You're getting attention with the
so you can't go in at the ghetto go sing with them youth there. Sit down with them youth there now. And you want them to deal with certain for them home, for them family, school and everything. And you start talking to them in America.
Not just like that, man. You have to prepare their mind.
No, why you don't talk to them in English? Where you talk or patois or Jamaican language?
No, because you have no. You see, all I and I get comfortable with like where the data where I listen to it just play. I say, we need to move away from the oppressor language, because by doing that we stay oppressed.
We must stop feeling
we get too comfortable in our oppression then, you know.
The language.
Sorry, go ahead.
So why you don't learn a language that, as an African, why you don't learn a language that most African will understand you if you go to Africa?
Yeah, I say I won't do that.
Yeah.
You know, my first. But me hear you say, you know, so Ethiopia is your number one choice.
No.
Ethiopia is my number one choice.
Yeah, everybody have a choice. Everybody have a choice.
Then everyone a free Rasta.
Yeah.
But Ethiopia is my number one choice, and are the only African country that I ever tried.
Most Rasta I know say that, and when them go Ethiopia, them don't stay there.
No, so I'm comfortable.
No, man, I said you. No, you say.
Right now, we can't even chat the business for the soul, but right now, I Ethiopia, I say. That's it.
Yeah, I say Ethiopia too, you know, but it's not my first choice in Seklin.
Me know about it, you said that already.
And most of the brethren them who me know go Ethiopia, them end up either Ghana or South Africa.
Because it depends on where I look for.
Yeah, they know that. Of course, it depends on where I look for.
Material. Ethiopia is not. They have the materialistic mind, you know.
Why not? Oh, you mean Ethiopia not a materialistic mind?
No, literally. Like a man who just want to get some money or want to get rich or...
Why not?
Ethiopia is very spiritual. Ethiopia...
Where's the spiritual way you mean? Where's the spiritual way you mean? Where's the spiritual way you mean? What is spiritual about Ethiopia as opposed to Nigeria, Ghana, Morocco, Senegal? What's the most spiritual about it?
I can't compare them because I have only been to Ethiopia, but the comfort of
Ethiopia, you go, okay, all right.
Yeah, within myself, give me my empress and certain, even a dream, different. Yeah. I never dream that yet. You over?
No, sir, I mean, no over.
No. Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Ethiopia appeal to our spirituality.
So you plan for go to next country, I just want to go back to Ethiopia.
But just want to go forward to Ethiopia.
You know what to look for another part.
You know? Right now we are communicating with some priests up in Arar. Where the Majesty born up in El Jara.
And you know want to go another country in Africa?
Of course. Because to begin with, I don't really love Ethiopian man clothes. They're too tight. I like the roomy clothes. I even like what they tried up in. Because she is a martial artist. I have to stretch and Ethiopia clothes them too tight. You know?
Yeah, but when I ask you, you plan for go to any other African country? You plan
but I would go visit.
Then visit me I talk about.
Yes, man. But right
like
now,
how you go visit Ethiopia.
Right now.
Like how you go visit Ethiopia. You can't go visit somewhere else too.
No, I don't want to do that. No, right away. Right now, I make some connection in Ethiopia where I don't have time to go run up and down a more Africa place. I want to go up in Arar. We have work for do.
All right.
Yeah, see? We are them find a ruins, a ancient church, and it belongs to His Imperial Majesty Mother. Yeah, I see.
And what? So where you going to do? Where you going to do?
We refurbish it.
Okay.
I tried kind of different, muta.
It sound that way there.
Yeah, let me tell you that.
My track different too. My track different.
Let me tell you about me. I have ship champion and a yacht. Not around here, so again,
Okay.
but good. Nothing around a west here. She entice me right now. You see, appear war and rumors of war, even though
War there, Ethiopia.
Yes, but why right now, if I should make my transition, I would prefer to be there.
All right, sir.
And that's what I think there.
Yeah.
There, see?
Yeah, me hear you, man. Me hear you.
And right
Anyway.
now, before, just give me a minute before you seal up. I just want to say, I encourage and I brethren and sisters, especially and I will walk within the footsteps of Xavier Kedemara Selassie, to touch the Amharic language, you know. It be, and me encourage that, Rasta, believe me, it bring you to a different level higher. Different, it give you. And where do for I? It's a good for the eye here because I know the eye love eye.
No, you want to know, brethren. Me love Haile Selassie, but the language. No, man, me no fanatic, Listen to me, I say no.
Yeah, fanatic.
Me love English word. You know, English word, and that you talk to me the whole night. That you talk to me.
Yeah, me talk about fanatic. Low down to that.
Yeah, you hear me, I say no. Me love Haile Selassie.
Yeah.
But you say anytime me I talk to people, me not go show them say me know Amharic if them don't understand me. Me go talk to them and make them understand what me I say.
Yeah, that's where I say them.
And most of the place where me go, it's not Amharic them attack.
Right.
It's just that.
You don't get to taste the language, man. That's the thing. Because you go Africa, but you go all around.
Me no want just know language, me want communicate.
When Peter Touch said, "Negotiate the gas,"
and with that Peter Touch know Amharic. And with that him know Peter Touch know Amharic.
But guess what? That is enough to influence me from your youth to ride the bicycle.
Them no can't say Haile Selassie.
I'm up in my 60s.
Yeah, but me can't say Haile Selassie too. I'm up in my 70s.
Yes, but you can't say more than that. You can't say, you
but
can't
Peter Touch can't say more than Peter Touch can't say more than what I say.
Well,
never yet say anything else.
Give thanks to Endo though, because, back in the days, even Debo when I say Abba Janai is the father.
Yeah.
Them little thing there, enough youth.
Yeah, I'm going to say Haile Selassie, enough youth. Haile Selassie. I just Haile Selassie.
Yes, man.
If you don't know no other Amharic language word, me know Haile Selassie. Just simple.
Well, if one day it come to the eye and the eye eat up in herself,
Haile Selassie, me see it up in
herself and chief to touch that, you have a full joy. That's it.
Yeah, we have to go. This is the cutting edge. We want to tell you that we'll be back here a little more at 2 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. with the Stepping Razor. Different program, totally different program, okay? So, for those of you who can just travel with me. Go to your bed and wake up again, and a whole lot of people will do it still. And we still have to tell you about where performance that going to take place on the 3rd of May. Skyline levels that are up at Jack's Hill. And would I like you come because I would one never see me with my music yet, with my band. Understand? Well, people don't know how that work with the poetry. And I tell you, you will be totally entertained and also it's thought-provoking. Okay.
Well, my people, we've made it to the end. It was a really, really long journey. But definitely, give thanks to the ones and ones who made it this far. Not a lot of people will made it this far. So I want you to type Black Power down in the comment section if you have made it to this distance. So much is going on, my people. So much. We just have to take one step. See if we can fix a certain things. Adjust to a certain things. Eliminate a certain things. It is the way. But y'all hear what Mutabaruka have to say. So definitely leave your thoughts down in the comment section. And before we go, you know it's a Black Power movement. So definitely drop a like and subscribe. Share to a friend or a family so they can be a part of the movement. Now my people, I'll catch you in the next one. Irie.